Hi everyone. Early days, part 3. Of course, to get this job at Anglesey Abbey, I had to have an interview, and my mother came with me on this interview, and we had to get a train, because obviously we didn't have a car in those days. And we got the train from Ely, and then got a local bus from Cambridge to this village called Load, which is where Anglesey Abbey is. We got off at the gates of the drive and walked up this very long drive, and the further one got up this drive, the more nervous I got around it all. And then finally got to the large house and rang the doorbell. And of course we came up the back drive. There was a front drive and a back drive, and of course the servants used the back drive. I had an interview with the butler, and who was a very nice man, and told me what sort of work that I would be doing. And then we talked about my wages, and I earned 30 shillings a week, which doesn't sound very much nowadays, but then it was fine, because I really didn't have that much to spend the money on. I had my own room there, of course, and was fed, had all my meals there, and I was brought a suit and shirts and ties, so I had a uniform. And so all I really needed was to buy a few sweets and toothpaste and that kind of thing. We had everyone who worked there had a half day a week, and that started at around 1 o'clock, 1:30 I guess, really. And so that was general for everybody, just half a day a week. After a while I'd been there, my mother asked me to see if I could get a weekend off, because she didn't really see enough of me. So I asked for this weekend, and they did after a while say, yes, okay, you can have this, but it's pretty unusual. And I used to finish work on Saturday around 1:30, and then I would go home and have to be back on Monday morning very early. To get to Cambridge, of course, I had to have a bicycle, and I cycled 7 miles into Cambridge and left my bike at the railway station, and then got on the train and went home. I have to say that I was very happy in this house, and I never regretted spending the time there. I learned so much, and also met some very interesting people. My mother had been in service, and in service meant that you worked in a house, and she was a house parlour maid, so I guess in a lot of ways I followed on from her. And so that was pretty well it, and then by the time I was 18, of course, then it was time to move on, and I will talk about that next time, so bye. Here are a couple of pictures of myself around the time that I was working at Anglesey. One of them is by a statue that was outside of the back door of the house, and the other one was of a holiday that I took. Of course, one of the things we did have 2 weeks holiday a year, and this is a photograph of me on one of the holidays that I took then.